And that, a scientist who had been developing this robot gave some interviews, and so I guess we'll start there.
Great.
If you had an off button, I'd name you Off. Phase 1. In a bright room, a scientist builds himself a robot, a boy, and names him Affetto, affection in Italian. The boy's black eyes squint into a sweet blink whenever the man who made him makes him smile. This story is about how we create what we think we need. A child who smiles as if to say, I didn't know joy before I knew you, and you are all I know. Phase 2. Sleepy and blue-lit in your dark, you read an article about little Affetto. In the photo on your phone, the boy whose name means a gentle fondness or liking is just a lifelike head on a table, connected by wires to computers that make him blink and smile as he is affected by the man who made him. You wonder if his father, the scientist, remembers Affetto's smile means, isn't this what you wanted? Phase 3. The scientist tells a reporter, here in Japan, we believe all objects have a soul, so a metal robot is no different from a human. He poses for pictures next to the head on the table, then proudly announces it's time to teach Affetto how to suffer. The boy is given hands of his own, which the scientist holds, then caresses, then pinches, pausing to take note. The boy winces, and the scientist smiles. Affetto, this is what I wanted. Phase 4. The scientist, who also happens to be a father, turns Affetto off, the machines off, all the lights in the bright white room off, and goes home to a table where dinner, a wife made of smiles, and an exquisite son are waiting for him. At the table he lies about his day until the food is gone, and his son begins to yawn. He pulls lies from the blue book he keeps beside his boy's bed. One more story, the boy begs, and the scientist, who is also a father, turns to the tale of the puppet who wished to be real. Phase 5. The end of the world is a boy who feels all the pain we give him, but never bruises, never has a history to show for who happened to him. The end of the world is a boy all alone in an electric dark, telling himself a story to keep from crying without tears. The end of the world is a boy willing himself to focus on the soft touches and caresses that came before the pain. The end of the world is a boy who doesn't need to be a real boy to grieve like one.
I love this poem.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. And there's that line, this story is how we create what we think we need.
Yes.
And I feel like it rings through the entire collection in a way, this questioning about why do we create what we create? And then it takes this really dark turn, when you find out that the scientist created this, quote unquote boy, not for his affection,
right,
but for his suffering, to make him suffer, basically. Mm-hmm. He proudly announces it's time to teach Affetto how to suffer. Mm-hmm. And it's a dark question that I have about that, but do you feel like we create characters to make them suffer? Even when the character is like the I in your memoir, right?
Right. I would say, I don't know if we create characters to make them suffer, but I will say certainly we create characters to use them with a lot of different intentions.